You can buy the right clothes, follow every fashion blogger, save hundreds of outfits on Pinterest, but on you, the same outfits can look terrible, awkward and honestly ugly. Not because you are ugly, but because you haven't learned how to adapt style to your own appearance, proportions and the way your clothes actually work on your body. And I know this feeling, because for a long time I thought taste was something you either had or didn't have. But taste is not magic, and style is not just about clothes. Taste is a skill, and once you understand how it works, you start to attract better opportunities, more money and more interesting people. So today I'm breaking down 5 steps that will help you develop your personal taste. Stop copying random images online and start building your personal style that opens the right doors for you. My name is Oleyné, I'm personal stylist, and on this channel we talk about men's fashion. Today's style seems more accessible than ever. We have social media, fashion bloggers, online vintage platforms, art channels, everything. In theory, developing taste should be easier than ever, yet in reality, this endless access often makes people even more confused. For a very long time, fashion was inaccessible to most people. Not everyone could afford to update their wardrobe every season, and even fewer people had the opportunity to buy designer pieces that genuinely reflected their personal taste. Today, that has changed. We can find designer brands in secondhand stores almost anywhere in the world. We can buy pre-owned fashion through countless online platforms, but this creates a new problem. In this overwhelming abundance of clothing, how do you understand which pieces truly suits you and reflect your own taste and style? Do you really need to scroll through millions of images on Pinterest or sign up for courses in fashion design and styling just to define your personal taste? Not really. Step 1. Understand that style is communication. Style is not about clothes, and it's definitely not about just fabric. Your personal style is the way you communicate with the world before you even say a word. It's a non-verbal language. Every day people make quick decisions about you. They decide whether you look interesting, trustfully, attractive, professional, intelligent, confident or completely forgettable. And most of the time you don't get a chance to explain yourself. You don't get to say, actually I have a taste, I have depth, I have ambitions, I have a whole inner world. People see you first, and only after that they decide whether they want to know more. That is why the way you present yourself matters. Not as a replacement for depth, intelligence or character, but as a first signal that invites people to look closer. Your style can show your mood, status, profession, interests, background and ambitions. And this story is not expressed through clothes alone. It reveals itself in your fragrance, your hairstyle, the way your clothes fit, the objects you choose, the combinations you create, and even the way you enter the room. Because style speaks whether you control it or not. And if you don't choose consciously, it may tell a story you never intended to tell. Step 2. Stop starting with Pinterest. This is where many people fall into the first trap. They open YouTube, subscribe to a few channels about history, art and fashion, save a couple of images on Pinterest, and there you go, you have style. But there is a trap here. Social media are not the original source. They are already an interpretation, someone else's taste, angle, editing and a way of breaking the rules. If you don't yet have a foundation, you may look at an outfit and think, wow, this is stylish. You may not understand why it works. Does the clothes actually fit well? Are the proportions right? Does the silhouette suit the person? Or does the look seem impressive only because of the pose, the lighting and the flattering angle? The same happens with bloggers. Many male fashion bloggers look good not because they are perfectly dressed, but because they are in excellent physical shape. When someone is muscular, fit and has a well-proportioned body, even clothing with an imperfect fit can still look quite good on them. But when you buy the same outfit and put it on yourself, the result may be completely different. The same applies to fashion blogs and YouTube channels. There are many blogs that genuinely provide useful information, but there are also channels where a so-called fashion expert speaks in an arrogant, patronizing way. They use complex terms without explaining them, they refer to works without giving any context, and it just leaves you feeling frustrated. I'm qualified specialist in advertising and public relations, and one of the first things we were taught is this: any information you present must be clear enough for an ordinary school students to understand. So choose people who make things clearer, not more confusing. After watching them, you should feel more curious, more inspired and more excited about fashion, style, art or any other subject that you felt before. Step 3. Train your eyes through original sources. Don't start with Pinterest, start with the foundation. Open blog major fashion publications and runway shows from well-known brands. You don't need to know every designer's biography. You don't need to understand every collection on an expert level. Just look. What do you like? What pushes you away? Which silhouettes keep appearing? How do coats, trousers, shirts and suits fit? First you learn to see how clothes is meant to be conceived, constructed and placed on the body. Only after that should you move on to bloggers, Pinterest and social media. Because many stylish outfits are built on breaking the rules. But you can only break the rules you actually know. If you don't know the foundation, you are not breaking the rule, you're simply making a mistake. And once you understand the basics, any violation becomes intentional. That is the moment when an outfit stops looking accidental and starts looking interesting. Step 4. Learn the history behind things. Style begins with fundamental knowledge and well-rounded education. Style is not only about things, it's about history, culture and symbols. Symbols that were once part of politics, struggle and social change, and later became part of our wardrobes, makeup, fragrance and everyday aesthetic language. Take red lipstick for example. Red lipstick is not just a cosmetic product. In early 20th century, red lipstick became one of the visual symbols of women's emancipation. Women who were fighting for the right to vote used red lipstick as a gesture of courage. At a time when bright makeup was often considered provocative, red lipstick became more than a beauty choice. They became a statement of freedom, visibility and women's right to be heard. In Italy, in 1946, women were able to vote for the first time. Before going to the polls, they were advised to come without lipstick, because a mark left on a ballot paper or envelope could make their vote invalid. So when we talk about style, we are not simply talking about color of the lips, we are talking about cultural memory. Later, even an economic term appeared, the lipstick effect. The idea behind this is that during periods of financial instability, people may give up major purchases, expensive trips or large luxury items, but still allow themselves a small, accessible symbol of beauty and status – a lipstick, a fragrance, a cream, a beauty detail. Because a small luxury can sometimes give a person a sense of control, pleasure and connection to the life they want for themselves. This is why the things we wear, use and choose are inseparable from history. The same can be said about jeans. Today jeans seems like an absolutely ordinary item, but in the 20th century, in Western Europe and Soviet Union, they were not just clothing. They were a symbol of the West, of freedom, of young culture and of resistance to the system. Real Western jeans were obtained through friends, parcels or black market, and the very possibility of wearing a genuine pair of Levi's became almost a cultural gesture. Back then, having real Western jeans was almost a political statement. Today, apparently having great jeans can still become one. This is why fashion becomes interesting, not when you simply buy an item, but when you understand what stands behind it. Because style is not a collection of random objects, it's a collection of symbols. Symbols that you either understand and use consciously, or simply wear without knowing what kind of story they are telling on your behalf. Step 5. Develop your ability to see. Once you know the history behind the things, the world becomes far more interesting. You start to understand why a celebrity can appear on the red carpet in what seems to be an extremely simple look, and the next day everyone is talking about it. Because it's not simply clothing. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary dress or suit, but in reality it carries meaning, an era, a protest, a status. A social status, a desire for freedom, or a sense of belonging to a particular culture. We don't merely wear things, we wear historical codes connected to events, people, conflicts, revolutions, art and personal stories. At some point, you stop seeing fashion as shopping and begin to see it as one of the most complex forms of art. Fashion is a result of human thought, architecture placed on the body, history translated into fabric, psychology expressed through color, and politics hiding inside a silhouette. This is why developing a personal taste requires curiosity about the world itself. When you travel, don't limit yourself to make photos and famous locations. Read about the city you are visiting, its culture, architecture, art, traditions, clothing, music, and a way of life. The same applies to museums. Don't walk past paintings and sculptures as if they were just decorative backgrounds. Listen to the story behind the work. Who created it? What period it belongs to? why it matters, and what it reveals about the people of that time. Real style, as profound as it may sound, begins with a love for life and a hunger for knowledge. It begins with the desire to understand why the world looks, feels, smells, and moves the way it does. The more questions you ask, the deeper your taste becomes. And this is where art, cinema, music and theater becomes part of the style. When you watch films, pay attention to the costumes, because they can also help you shape your own personal style. The same applies to music. Try to understand the lyrics, the references, the mood and the world behind the artist. All of this develops your ability to see, because fashion and style are like a layered cake. There is not just one surface, there are several layers, and your task is to learn how to notice each of them. This process gradually forms your own personal and unique taste in clothing. So the path is simple. Understand that style is communication. Stop starting with Pinterest. Train your eye through original sources. Learn the history behind things and develop your ability to see. To speed up this process and create a wardrobe that truly suits you, I offer personal consultations. You can book a consultation by contacting me through the email in the video description. During the consultation, we will analyze your wardrobe, your personal type, your lifestyle, and the style that will work specifically for you. Share this video with your friends, follow the channel and like this video. It really helps the channel grow.